time you get up. Good morning, guys. It's Fit and 50, and today we are going to find out how fit you are. And the best place we can do that, or do our first fitness test, is right here in bed. So when you first get up, you don't even have to get out of bed yet. You can sit up in bed if you'd like, but you just got to do it early while you're still nice and relaxed, is you take your resting heart rate. And the lower your resting heart rate is, the fitter you are. Now the best way to take your resting heart rate is to count beats per minute using your pulse. And I'll show you here how you can find your pulse. Just let me get up here. And see these two tendons that are kind of just sticking out on my wrist there? Actually, there's like three tendons there, right? But that top tendon there, thumb side, oh, right there, right kind of where before the wrist bone there. Put one finger there, and then a second one right beside it, and relax, and you'll be able to feel your pulse. And you hold it there for a minute. You count how many beats per minute you have, and then once you've got the beats per minute, I would do that, say, 3 or 4 days in a row. Take the average. That'll give you an idea what your resting heart rate is. I'll pop up a chart here. You compare it to the chart and see where you're at, and it'll give you an idea where your current fitness level is. But if your heart rate's running a little high, don't worry about it, because as you train and you get fitter, your resting heart rate will lower. Okay, guys, now I'm going to put on some pants, because I like wearing pants, and then we'll continue with some more fit tests to figure out how fit we are. Testing our heart rate, body composition, cardiorespiratory endurance, muscular fitness, and flexibility. So why would you even want to do a fit test? Well, the primary reason would be to help you track your progress. So once you've established a baseline by doing the fitness test the first time, then in a month or two, you would do the test again, and you'd see how much you've improved. And you'll probably see that there are some areas that you improve a lot on, and other areas you may not progress very much on, or maybe not even improve at all. So then you can adjust your program to give those areas a little more attention. The next reason why it's advantageous is it helps you in goal setting. You can kind of see what the next level of fitness is, and it helps you focus on that so that you can approach it. Or, if you're an old guy like me, you might be able to take a look at what the young guys are doing and see if you can't top that, just because you can. So the next fit test we are going to do is waist to hip ratio. That kind of helps us with our body composition, and it's easier than trying to use the scale and calipers, and it is a strong indicator as to your risk of heart attack. So when you do this, when you measure your waist, you want to measure the smallest part of your waist. For me, it's right there at the belly button. For a lot of people, it's actually a couple inches higher, so it just depends on your body shape. But you want to measure the smallest area, and then you want the largest area on your hips. So I got a pretty big butt, so that would be the area I'd be measuring right there. And then you divide the waist measurement by the hip measurement, and that'll give you a fraction, and you'll compare that to the chart that I'll pop up here now. And when you look at that chart, I'm actually a 0.87, so I'm not even an excellent, so I really need to get working on those squats. So for our next test, we're going to do what's called a step-up test, and we do this step up for 3 minutes. You need a step that's roughly 12 inches high. I'm using this milk carton, it's 11 inches high, but really if you're 10 to 14 inches high, you're going to be good. And as far as tracking it for yourself, as long as you're using the same thing each time, it's going to work for you. Now you want to do this at a reasonable pace. If you have a metronome, or you download a metronome on your phone, which is what I got here, you want to set it at 96 beats per minute. And it's an up, up, down, down kind of pace, just like this here. I'll show you. So, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. And you do that for 3 minutes. Then after the 3 minutes, again, you check your pulse for a minute. Once you've counted the beats for the entire minute, you compare it to the chart, and it'll show you where you're rating, how fit you are, and then you can set up your next goal. So if you'd like a copy of any of these charts, I'll leave my email address in the description. You can send me an email, and I'll forward you on copies of these charts. Now it's time for the strength tests. Rah! So the next test is the push-up test, and we're going to see how many push-ups you can do in a minute. Now I want them to be full range of push-ups, so when I call a full range, I'm down at a 90 there,
and then all the way back up. Now, ladies, you can go from your knees, and the chart, that's how it shows it on there, so you can compare. So basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you lose your form, you sag this way at all, you're done. You want to keep that good form for a full minute. Count how many you can do, and then check the chart, see where you're at, set up for your next goal, or look back and see how much you've improved since the last time. So to test our lower body strength, we're going to do chair squats. The chart that I'm using, it shows the squats. You can do them as a total number of squats. If you find that you can't really do a lot of squats in good form, because as soon as you find yourself actually sitting on the chair, then you know it's time to stop. The purpose of the chair isn't to sit on when you go down, but just to make sure you're doing a full range of motion. So you just come down and touch it and move up. If you have to sit on it, you're done. Now, once you've gotten so that you can do a full 34 squats, I would suggest you work through the chart again, doing it as how many squats you can do in a minute, and track your progress that way. So now we are going to move our core test, and that of course is going to be plank. Now I like planks a lot better than crunches or sit-ups as far as testing your core goes, because it really tests your complete core, and really it is the same motion you're using when you're stabilizing your body in action. So I would say that if you're say you can't plank for a minute, then you'd definitely be a beginner. I couldn't find a chart, so that's why I'm going this way. If you can plank 2 minutes or longer, I would put you at intermediate. Once you hit 5 minutes or longer, then you are clearly advanced. So now we're moving on to our flexibility test, and we're actually going to start with trying to touch our toes, as this will help to test our flexibility, low back, hips, and hamstrings. So it's really a good lower body flexibility test. So if you reach down, this is as far as you can get, somewhere in between where your socks would normally be. Actually, I should really have my feet together. When you do this, you should put your feet together. So if you can only reach down between your knees and where your sock line would be, then you definitely need some work. Now you should be able to touch your toes. Everybody should be able to touch their toes. So if you can touch your toes, I'd consider that intermediate. And if you want to go to advanced, then it's palms to the floor, which I can't do. But that would definitely be advanced. As close as I can get to these knuckles to the floor, and that's quite the stretch. And when you're doing this, you want to do it to a point that it's not causing any pain, to get a gauge as to where you're at. So for a fine flexibility one, you're really going to see where I'm not in good shape. And I'm actively working to fix this one, as we are going to look at shoulder flexibility. Okay, for the last one we're going to do shoulder flexibility. This is a real weak point with me. I have a long-term shoulder injury that I've been working with, but let me show you the test that I think probably best tests your shoulder flexibility. And it's simply the reach test in the back here. Now, if you've got good flexibility, your fingers are going to be able to touch. And if you have bad flexibility like I have, your fingers are going to be over 2 inches away. So that's what you're going to use for gauge. Show you how bad I am on this other side where my injury is. See, that's just horrible. So that's how you gauge upper body flexibility. So if behind there your fingers touch, it's good. If you're within 2 inches, you're kind of average. And if you're like me and you're way far away, it's a fail. So anyway, those are my fit tests. Now clearly there's a lot more fit tests you can do, but I wanted to kind of cover the whole span of fitness. Now there's a lot more fitness tests out there that we could have done. If there's a fit test you like to do, let me know what it is in the comments. If there's a fit test you think I should be demoing or showing to everybody, put it in the comments. I'll do a little research on it and I'll put it in there. Otherwise, let me know what kind of test it is you like to do. And this is Fit in 50, signing out, keep working out, keep having fun, and we will talk to you in that next video.